with me having to relearn, reprocess, rethink what sex was, that was like taking a part of my identity away.
Just because you may need to seek help or you may be in transition and things may not be right, it doesn't necessarily mean that your marriage is bad.
Marriage is a roller coaster ride that never ends.
From the twists of having children, to the turns of overly involved parents, or the highs of buying a new home, to the lows of unexpected lifestyle changes.
Marriage is dope, but let's be honest, fam. Marriage really be tiring.
Welcome to the Left Hand Gang podcast, hosted by Jazz and Spoon.
Yo, what up, y'all? How's everybody doing? Welcome to the Left Hand Gang podcast. Gang. Man, it's so good to, I guess I would say normally see y'all or hear y'all, but
feel y'all?
Feel. Okay, that's a word. Okay, it's good to feel y'all, you know. It's good to feel y'all and what y'all got going on.
Be with y'all?
Yeah, be with y'all. Good to be present with you in your car, on your jog, mowing the grass, whatever it is that you're doing right now. It's good to be kicking it with y'all. Hey girl, talk to the people a little bit.
That reminded me of like the old people, you know, and they be like, go ahead, show them that dance.
Oh, show them that move?
Yeah, baby, show them that move that you be doing. Hey y'all, I'm chilling.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here. And I love coming on here and getting to just talk. Like,
yeah.
You know, like I like just being real and getting to just share the things that we talk about or that we go through that's normal to us. Just getting to be authentic.
It's dope.
I love sharing that with other
Me
people.
Me too.
Yeah.
Man, so, you know, I hope that y'all been blessed listening to these, listen to hearing us talking stuff, because, you know, I don't want to be talking to ain't nobody be, I'm just kidding, ain't even about me.
It's not.
I know. I'm just being
Be obedient.
That's it. Just doing the Left Hand Gang thing. So, you know, today we just, you know, normally we have like a topic or whatever it is, but today was just like, let's just give life updates. Let's just update on life. You know, it's kind of like, I guess we're doing a podcast. I don't know, Christmas card type of thing. Like, you know how you know how you
mean like the update
yeah
part?
Yeah, just the updates part. Yo, which reminds me, Carlos and Brittany, whenever they did that, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. We're definitely biting
that idea. So an idea that they did was they sent out Christmas cards, and on like the back of it was like life updates and what they were doing and what they accomplished or whatever it was. What they were needing prayer for and what they're also standing in need of themselves and all that stuff. So it's a really, really dope idea. So yeah, I'm challenging y'all. Everybody this year, 2022 Christmas, make sure that on the back of your Christmas card, if you do send out Christmas cards, on the back of it, just send people life updates, you know, because I think that's just a nice thing that we should do. Let other people know where we at and what we got going on. So,
and mamas, y'all know y'all need y'all family picture anyway. Y'all probably didn't take it, so just use this as the excuse to take family pictures.
Yep, there it is.
Yeah.
Boom, drops mic. So yeah, life updates, man. What's going on in your world,
life
baby?
Updates. Yo, I'm a mama.
Hey.
That's been dope. You know, baby boy is 4 months, almost 5 months, and we're in a new season of somewhat sleeping through the night. So like that's changed my sleep schedule and my whole schedule period, because we get up when he get up. You know what I'm saying? He running everything right now. So
right now,
you know, I'm trying to revamp and get my life back together. I just launched Sam's Butterflies, my mentoring program for young teens.
Yeah.
Teen girls.
Yes.
That has been a little piece of my heart for years, for as long as I can remember. And to finally see that coming to life and executing that's one of those things where it's like, and when I was talking about it, it was like, oh, this is so cool. I'm so excited. You know, God gave me this. This is a really great idea. I know it's from God. And I just love telling people about it because I was really excited about it. But now that I'm actually having to execute it,
yeah,
I'm like,
It's getting
That's,
hot.
yeah, that's that faith walk right there. Because it's like, yeah, in my head it sounded real good, but then when you start having to fine tune all the details and actually like, from start to finish host an event. I've never done an event by myself. I've always hosted some type of event with someone else. So it is definitely a faith walk and it is a journey, but I know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to. So
Yeah.
I have peace about it. So that's the cool thing.
That's dope. That's
Yeah.
dope. No, that's
What
that's
else is
good.
going
What
Photography is still going. And now I'm at that place, where I'm like out of postpartum ish, for the most part. Do you ever leave? But I'm past the 3-month mark, and getting back to myself, doing the things that I want to, but how do I do those things and still take care of my family?
Yeah.
Because before it was like, yo, I want to host this event, I want to do this, I want to work out, I want to blah blah blah, and I could. And now it's my stuff gets like pushed in between the slots of you and Kai, and maybe even things that we have all together. And so that's where I'm at. That's hard. It's very hard.
Sounds like another level of like serving.
Yeah, it is.
And I think it's cool because like at one point in time, I was in your space, obviously minus the child and nursing and stuff, but like, leaving whatever job I had at that time and being in a new place with God and just like, look here, dog, you sent me to school to go get all these degrees and I ain't really using them no more. And I'm like expanding into unknown foreign territory and I'm learning new gifts and didn't even realize these gifts were like buried on the inside of me, and it's pretty cool, but it's scary at the same time.
Yep.
And I ain't really even, I'm using my gifts for me, but I'm really using them for somebody else. And yeah. So I feel you, dog.
Yeah, it's scary, but at the same time it's like you want to keep walking, especially because you can't go back. Like I left the classroom.
It's a wrap.
It's not like I can just be like, you know what,
I'm gonna go back next week.
Right, like I'm just gonna go to my classroom. No, I'm not teaching, and you stepped away from corporate America as well, and we are both out here. We're finally launching and walking in our purpose with Left Hand Gang, and that's something that's been in our hearts for years that God told us before we were even married to do.
Yeah.
So we out here.
Yeah.
We out here just holding on to the little faith string, just.
Yeah. Sometimes I kind of feel like, we're Peter whenever he was like, Lord, if that's you, bid me to come. He said, come on, pull up. And I'm like, all right, we're going to go ahead and step up out of this boat. Right. Some turbulence. We ain't sank yet. So I guess we're doing pretty good keeping our eyes on God. But, man, it's a different, man, it's just a different space. I really enjoy it. So I'm going to tell on myself.
Okay.
As it relates to you and Sam's Butterflies, the program, blah, 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 you doing that, I was like on the inside, I was like screaming so loud because I was like, she's finally doing it. I'm so happy she's doing it. And I didn't have to drop hints. I didn't have to come to you with this profound word from God and blah, blah, blah. But it was, you came to it on your own terms, on your own, without my input, without my say-so, without my convincing vernacular. I wasn't able to, I didn't do anything. And that was really, really hard for me, just to be honest. It really was. Because I'm like, okay, so you want to do what? Okay, bet. So you should do this, and once you consider doing this, and if you get this person involved, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm starting to see you grow because I ain't said nothing.
Wow.
I ain't said a word. And so I'm really seeing, your growth, and your the wheels are turning. You're processing things. You're like, I don't know how I'm gonna get this person involved, and I don't know how I'm gonna get this person involved, and then like the next day, okay, I know what I'm gonna do with them. I know what I'm gonna do with them. And I want you to do that. Da, 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 da. I'm thinking about this, and I'm like, yeah, let's go, let's go. But had I been, had I done what I would normally do,
Yeah.
I would have taken all of that growth away from you. And so I think, I credit a lot of that, obviously to our marriage coaching,
Yeah.
but also to, the fast that I was on, that I just got off of last week, and being able to see my family in a new light and in a different light. So yeah, I'm extremely happy for
Wow.
you, girl. I
Thanks,
really
baby.
am. I am.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I was wondering too, because I felt like you were kind of silent.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that you were still happy for me. And I knew that, like you didn't think it was a bad idea necessarily, but like you weren't, like when I would come to you with ideas, you would just be like, yeah, like that's, like it was just kind of like, it wasn't dry, but it wasn't what I thought I would get. And I now understand why.
Yeah. But being on the other side of that, let's talk about that. Like, being on the other side of that, because normally the response that you would get from me would be involved.
Yes.
Tell me what to do. I can
Yeah.
help with this. I can
Yeah.
help you do this. Did you think about this? Blah, blah, blah. So being on that receiving end, prior to me really explaining why I responded the way that I did, how did that make you feel?
Prior to that, in the moment, it was kind of just like I would just step back kind of, and I just was expecting more. And there were a few times where it was like I kind of wanted to do the whole like, look at me, aren't you proud of me? Like, but I realized I didn't need that. And I think that I've noticed that I wasn't coming to you a lot of like all the time asking you questions like I would normally do, asking for you to help me like execute my ideas. I've been trusting myself and really been able to hear God. Like, I talked about how I just have been in this different place with him, and just the way I've been seeking him and just humbling myself before him and spending those moments with him, I've been able to hear him download ideas into my mind like all day. Like I have a note that's jumbled up. It's a hot mess in my phone because I have so many nuggets and so many things that he's given me. And like, it'll literally happen randomly. Like when I'm nursing Kai or like in the car or walking to the kitchen and I'm like, oh yeah, God, thank you. Like, yeah, that's it. And I realized that once I just go, because he told me just go, once I just go, the rest will kind of make sense. And not kind of, the rest will make sense as I walk. And I started seeing that. So I realized I didn't need you and I didn't need your validation. I didn't, because I truly believe in what I'm doing. And I know that I'm doing what God has told me to. And where I do need help, I ask you. But it's also been very rewarding to see myself grow and to see myself do things that I didn't know that I could do. Like something, just being transparent, something as simple as Eventbrite. Like that normally would be intimidating because it's like, I don't know how to work it. You could do it faster. Can you put this together for me? But it never crossed my mind to ask you. Like I was just like, let me just go do it because I need to get it done. Like I can do it myself. And what I don't know, I can come and ask you. And actually, not trying to put you out there, but there were a few things I asked you and you actually didn't know. I think everything that I came and asked you, you were like, I never had to do that. So I was forced to figure it out on my own.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like I failed in the area. It ended up working out. Like I made an executive decision or I didn't need it or whatever. And it worked out the way it was supposed to. And I think that right now, what I'm really living out is when we celebrated our 3-year anniversary, we went guided rock climbing in Denver. You remember that?
Yeah.
And we had never been rock climbing, y'all. And we were just like, like, let's do it. So we meet this guy. We had to drive, took an Uber, drove up this mountain, like pretty high up. We met at the point that we were supposed to, and the instructor, he gives us all our gear that we need, and then he takes us off the road, and we're like walking down the cliffs to like where we're supposed to start rock climbing. So we actually had to go down a little bit so that we could climb up, if that makes any sense. And we get there, and he gets us hooked up. He gives us our crash course of everything, tells us about the equipment, and then it's like, all right, you're up. And I'm, ready to climb, and I'm looking up, and I'm like, how am I supposed to climb this thing? Like, this is not like the little colorful foot and hand places that are curved perfectly for your hand and for your toes to sit on like they do at the recreation center. It was not like that. It was straight up rock. Okay. Not no slants. There was no easy, medium, hard. Like, it was like straight up. And I was like, okay. So I'm trying, like, I couldn't even start. Like, I was looking for a safety net. I was looking for, okay, a good place to put my hand. Like, this is straight rock from Jesus himself. Okay. Yeah. It ain't made for all that. Like, my cute little fingernails weren't going to just hook onto the rock like this. I had to like dig in there, and I had to, like just go for it. And it wasn't until I put my foot in a place that leveraged me up so that I could put my hands in a place. And then I was able to keep going. But I noticed that as I got higher, it was like I was still stopping to try and find like, okay, I need a good hand place. But I couldn't find a hand place until I raised my leg up and pushed my foot into a rock to push me up. Then somehow I could find somewhere for my hands to go. And that's how I was able to keep going. And that's really what it feels like right now.
Girl, you better preach. The doors of the church are now open.
Oh, man.
But that was really good. And I like that because when I remember us, whenever we went and you were climbing up, there weren't a lot of footholds. And so you had to have, the rock climbing shoes to be able to hold yourself up.
Yeah.
And the thing is, since there weren't any footholds, it was like you had to literally walk on the rock without having a place to put your foot in to help give you leverage.
Yeah.
And the coolest part was the less amount of your foot that's on the rock, the more control and the more leverage you're able to have.
Yeah.
Because remember, you had to dig like your toe like into the rock.
I remember at one point, like my foot was turned sideways. Like we looked like little spider monkeys, like climbing, legs all out, like full, what was that, grand plie almost, just staggered. Yeah.
And so that helped to leverage you up to be able to, okay, I see a small little crevice that I can get 2 fingers in. I can't get my whole hand, but I can get a couple fingers in there. And then there were parts that you just had to literally jump.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just had to jump up.
Yeah.
And it's like, how in the world do you jump and you ain't got no leverage? Or your feet is flat on there. You ain't got nothing. You just got to jump.
Yeah.
And every time that you jump, you found it.
Every time. It
Was
like my body knew what to do. Like, and you couldn't stay in one spot long. You remember that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can't because you're just going to fall.
You were going to fall, or your legs were going to be shaking, because where you were, like we said, there wasn't a place to hang on to with your hand or a nice cushiony spot for your foot to rest. You had to keep going because you're going to cramp up with your foot sideways. Your fingers, you can only hold on with 2 fingers for so long. Like, you had to keep going up. You had to keep moving in order to advance. And I literally feel like I'm in that right now.
Man, that's good. Ooh. Ooh, that's so good. That's rich right there. Man, because faith is what?
By sight.
No, that's walk by faith and not by sight.
Because I was literally saying that scripture in my head.
Now faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. You can't see nothing until you jump. Until you just keep going, until you just climbing up that rock. I feel like a lot of us, especially in the pandemic, we had to figure it out. It didn't have to be perfect. Because if we tried to do it perfectly, it would, we would sit in that place for too long, and then before you know it, we got left behind, and
Yeah.
God, man, ooh, that's an update right there. Cause I see it because I remember. I just yeah. Anyways. So like in that space, like what's your mindset now?
Well, I'm out here. That's what I'm saying to God. Like, okay, I'm out here, bro. Like, you told me to do this. And I know that I'm not leading Jasmine. I know that Jasmine didn't just give herself this idea. Jasmine didn't say, okay, now go do this. So if Jasmine did not put me here, then Jasmine isn't the one that's going to sustain me. It's God. And so I know that my mindset has been on him. Like I've literally been abiding in him and not stressing about things, like, because the same God that he was yesterday, the same God that told me to go here, the same God that told me to do that, like it's the same God that's going to give me what I need to sustain me. And so right now my mindset is just, what is it that you want me to do? What do you want Sam's to look like? Well, who do I need to call? What's the next step? And I'm not stressing or being led by emotion right now, because oh, that's so crazy. This is exactly what your mom was talking about on Sunday. And I really am on a faith walk.
Yeah.
Like I don't have the resources.
Yeah.
I don't have everything that I need right before me. And I can't wait to get it before I start moving. Man. So my mindset is just keep trusting God and keep walking with him, keep listening to him and trusting that he's got it.
That's good. And I'm going to let you in on another secret. So.
Oh, Lord. You just confessing.
Oh, yeah. I'm doing all the confession.
You didn't tell me none of this.
I know. This is great material. But what I've started doing now is I know how important this event is, not just for you, but the girls that you're going to be impacting. And so what I've now started doing is I have changed my, in a sense, expectations of you as a wife, because I know that your time and attention is going to be devoted to this one thing. And so, so for example, why do you think I took time to cook today? Changed everything that I was going to do, so that way you didn't have to worry about that. You can take care of other things that are important. I've devoted my prayer time. What?
I'll tell you in a minute.
I've devoted, my prayers rather, more so towards you, and just your mental capacity and feeling stressed, overwhelmed, all that other stuff. And so I had to change how I supported you because of what God has called you to do. And that's not necessarily something that I gotta like sit down and talk to you about. Like, hey, so since you're gonna be doing this, I'm gonna change up some things, and I hope that you're okay with it. Because while you're jumping, I'm jumping too. Yeah. While you're stepping into something, I now have to step into, okay, how do I support her or make this a bit easier or feasible or doable, for her, so she doesn't have to worry about lacking in other areas, because I know that the lacking is only going to be for a short period of time. Because I mean, you'll come into a place to where you'll learn how to balance those. But right now you're learning how to balance your spiritual life, balancing how to be a wife, balancing how to be a mother, balancing how to be an entrepreneur, all at the same time. And you ain't never went to school for none of this before. So there's so many different things that you're learning. And so me being your husband, me being the head, me, being the covering, I had to be able to recognize, okay, she's in a different space. Where do I need to position myself? And the way that I need to be positioned doesn't necessarily have to be me talking. Doesn't necessarily have to be me telling you or suggesting to you how this event or how God has or what God has called you to do, I don't necessarily need, you don't necessarily need my voice to be in that, because I'm now going to get in the way with between your conversation with God and his with you. And me stepping in, although I want to help, although I'm being nice and I'm being a good husband, but I'm now disrupting your relationship with God if I step in and do that. So again, I had to be very, very aware of, okay, God, where do I go? How do I support? How do I how am I to be visible yet invisible at the same time?
Wow. All I can say is wow. Because, and before I explain why, you said something that reminded me of something that I wanted to say earlier about, you said, what has that experience been like for you? Because, you weren't getting the response that you thought you would get from me and the support that you thought you would get. And I'm also loving it because I don't have to compare my idea to your idea. And so when I come to you with things, your creative mind will go and just be like, oh, and this is how you can put this together. What you can do is da 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 da, and then see this how you spin it, right? You do blah 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 blah, and you get this and this, and like that's overwhelming for me. Like I need to like build up to things, and I don't need you to just throw it all on me. And I would feel like, oh well, my idea wasn't that, and that's a really good idea. Let me put that in place, or let me do da 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 with, and not realizing that I've crunched and crumbled up what I would have done in my ideas to live out what you thought. And not even trying to be dismissive of my own, but it was just, like how much I value you. And we talked about that, you being the rescuer and me, kind of like just stepping back a lot of the time and allowing you to rescue me. Well, that would play out in that scenario.
Yep, it definitely would.
I forgot to say that earlier, but what you just said, man, y'all, this is raw. I just want y'all to know, like, this was not rehearsed at all. So today, moment of transparency, I had a moment, and I think it was it was yesterday. I had a moment and I was frustrated with you, and I was frustrated because you were killing it, at the kitchen table, working on videos and editing and like just killing the game, getting all your things done. And I remember I was doing the same thing, but I was also entertaining Kai in between. And so I had one hand on the laptop and another putting in his pacifier, and I moved my stuff down so that I was sitting on the floor next to him while he was on his mat, like just so I could get to him faster when he fussed, or make him laugh real quick so he forgets that nobody's holding him. And I remember I got bothered because he got to a point where he was just like not having it. And I had to like stop what I was doing to like console and put him to sleep because he was not doing what he was supposed to do. And I was frustrated, and I said, I feel like my husband thinks that his stuff is more important than mine. And I feel like I don't know how to get him to see that I need to be supported and that I need time to sit at the kitchen table. Like I want to be able to not have to worry about Kai and what I'm doing. Like, can I do both? Probably, but that doesn't mean that I want to. And I wanted to say something, but that was Jasmine wanting to say something. Like, I realized I didn't have the words to convey it nicely. I wasn't using my I statement, my communication script that we got from our marriage coaching class. And something said to just shut up. Not so much shut up and take it. It wasn't that. It was just shut up, Jazz, and just stay low. Like continue to humble yourself. Do what you're supposed to do. Like, and I let it go. I remember like you came around and I still wasn't ready to talk yet, but I was able to just kind of push how I felt aside for a moment. And then before I knew it, I had forgot all about it. Like, wasn't bothered or anything. And I think had I said something yesterday with an attitude and from the wrong place, I would not have gotten this today. You know, I would have not heard. And then even if you had said it, it would have been like, well, I didn't know that. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't, it would have came right after my little bitter, you know, comments, that it wouldn't have been as beautiful as it was right now. And so I'm just thanking God for allowing me to hear him, to just shut up and to stay humble, to continue to serve and worry about just me and not pointing a finger at you and trying to tell you what you should be doing so that I can do what I want to do. God can do that. And he did. I never even asked God to. I never prayed, you know, and said, Lord, please allow my husband to, you know, like I never did that. But God saw a need. He saw my heart. And he also saw that I was willing to stay in position as a mother, as a wife, and still execute what I needed to do so that he could do a work in you and he could speak to you. Because otherwise, you would be doing it because I said, not because God said, you know? So that was really powerful. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, you're welcome. Glory be to God. Glory.
Man, God's so good.
He is. I mean, he is. He is. So, man, how you feel?
Liberated.
Liberated.
Yeah. Because when I get off of here, I'm finna pass you to your son and then, no, I'm just playing.
Okay.
I
My hands
feel
are open.
ready to receive.
Ready to receive.
No, I really do feel, I feel liberated for real. And I feel peaceful. And I don't know how this is going to sound to everybody that's listening.
It's all right.
But I think it was needed. You know, like I think I'm really glad that we just decided to just say, turn the cameras on, turn the mics on, let's go. Like,
Yeah.
We gonna just talk about life updates and look where it took us.
Yeah.
Obedience, man. Yeah. How do you feel?
I feel good. Like I said earlier, I was just, when you finally launched Sam's Butterflies, I was like, yes.
Thank you for cheering me on, baby.
Yes, baby. Yes. Let's go. Because I know that this is something that's been in your heart for years.
Yeah.
And I mean more than 2, y'all.
Yeah.
For years.
Yeah.
I mean, since before we even got married.
Yeah.
Like, this has been in your heart to do. And so now that you're doing it, you stepped out on faith, and a lot of people are talking about it, and they're wanting to sponsor girls and everything. And
God
so,
is so good.
man, I'm just excited for you. I really am. Before we get out of here, talk a little bit about the event.
Yeah, so Sam's Butterflies is like I mentioned, a mentoring program for teenage girls 13 to 18, and it's a spin-off on Etiquette School. We know that in wealthier areas, a lot of times families will pay for their daughter to go to etiquette school. They learn how to cook, they learn how to dress, how to sit at a table, prepare a table, speak, things like that. And we don't see that on our side of town. In our areas, people that look like me don't be going to those. And a lot of those same skills were passed down from grandmothers and mothers. And the way our society is today, we just see a disconnect there. A lot of families are not sitting down to eat dinner anymore. You know, a lot of grandparents are raising their grandchildren, so they don't get to play the role as a grandmother because now they're a mother, you know, and they're an older mother trying to teach a different generation. And we have social media, which is so dope. Social media is not, you know, a horrible thing, but it is raising our girls. And so God just put it in my heart to bring etiquette school down to a different level, to reach different communities that may not ever see that. So we tackle identity, we talk about hygiene, we talk about speaking, how to dress, makeup, we do all of it. And so we are hosting a workshop on November 5th, and it's $40 for your girl. She gets breakfast, she gets lunch from 10 to 2, and eventually we would love to bring Sam's to different organizations and churches, but right now we are just located in Arlington right now.
That's good.
Yeah.
So what's your website so people can register?
It is JasmineNCole.com.
JasmineNicole.com.
Yeah, and there's a pop-up there when you get to the website.
Solid. I'm so happy.
Thank you.
So happy. Heart and mind clear, baby. Did you get it all?
I did. What about you?
Oh yeah.
You look full.
I'm full. I am. Man, y'all, we thank y'all so much for tapping in with us, Left Hand Gang. Y'all continue to show us love, all that, like, subscribe, share, and just, keep the party going. So we'll catch y'all next episode. Love y'all. Peace. Thank y'all so much for tapping in with the Left Hand Gang podcast.
Be sure to follow, like, subscribe, and rate us.
And lastly, please don't forget to check out our website. That's lefthandgang.co for merch and ways to stay connected.
Catch you next episode.
Gang.